For any viewers, I absolutely apologise for the quality of this image. We've had some audio issues, but it was so imperative to get Tanya on talking to this. I'm receiving 3, 4, 5, 6, a number of requests on a daily basis now from parents who are absolutely worried and troubled and petrified about what sex education their children are going to be receiving from September onwards. And I needed an expert, somebody who's been on the front line of this, dealing with this issue, to come and help parents. So again, I apologise for the quality of this recording, but this is one of those must-do things, and Tanya's got a phone ringing. Do you need to take that?
No, that's all right. That's my partner's got his phone ringing.
Right.
He's left the
Oh, well,
room.
we love this. This is the kind of thing which is just makes it all very real, isn't it, really? So
it's just so great when we've got 7 people at home at all times.
Yeah,
trying to work from home.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. So basically, Tanya is one of the founding members of the Safe Schools Alliance, founded in May 2019. A loose group of parents, social workers, psychologists, grandparents from numerous counties across the UK. And why did you come to be in the first place, Tanya?
Because we were all noticing a lot of concerns with materials that were being promoted in our schools or by our county councils that undermined safeguarding and were misrepresenting the Equality Act. And we thought there really was a need for parents and teachers to have clear information on whether policies were keeping children safe and whether they complied with the Equality Act.
And in that short year, literally just over a year, you've had some victories, haven't you?
We have, yes. We had the NSPCC have let go some staff members who didn't understand safeguarding. There were several issues there. We've had Warwickshire County Council had the Respect Yourself RSE programme, which was awful. It was pro porn, it was pro sex work, it was telling 12-year-old girls that it was perfectly normal to be addicted to porn. We've had that withdrawn after a campaign with Click Off, which is an anti-pornography campaign group. And then we've had the Oxfordshire County Council Trans Inclusion Toolkit withdrawn. We had to go as far as getting a judicial review before they'd withdraw it, but that was advocating for boys who identified as girls to use the same changing rooms or overnight accommodation as girls. It was removing very vulnerable children from safeguarding frameworks by advising staff members that they shouldn't pass on disclosures to the designated safeguarding lead and discuss concerns with a child's parents, which is against all standard practice. So that's now gone. We've also had the CPS withdraw their LGBT hate crimes pack from schools for review. There were a lot of concerns with that, especially with regards to free speech and scaring children that they may be committing a hate crime. So we've had all that withdrawn. Since then, lots of parents have used the Oxfordshire case to write to their own counties, and lots of other counties have now also withdrawn guidance that wasn't keeping children safe.
Brilliant. So how do these parents who are coming to me, how do they approach their schools? What's the guidance there?
If they come and have a look on Safe Schools Alliance website, we have lots of template letters there. We have lots of resources so people can check whether their policy is keeping children safe, whether it complies with the law. And if they find there's some concerns, there's some template letters to send to schools. If you've still got concerns, they can email us on info@safeschoolsallianceuk.org and we can help them.
And just for parents who are researching this, because what parents often say to me is, what should we be looking out for? What names should we be looking out for? Who is it that is troubling, who are advising schools? So any particular packs that we should be alerting parents to, or any particular names?
It's difficult because there's so many out there. We do have our red flags document on our website, which will allow people to check all packs. The most recent resource we've released is a critique of Stonewall's home learning pack, which they released that there were a lot of concerns with. We've also recently been concerned by Andrew Moffat releasing new posters for schools on the protected characteristics from the Equalities Act, except he's missed sex off that, which is a very important characteristic to protect girls. Recently, we've also had problems with the day, which was linked to by the Department for Education. Been concerns about diversity role models recently as well, and the home learning pack that ASDA sent out. You can see all about this on our website. And I think most recently we're having concerns sent in to us from parents about Crush, which seems to be a new resource that has been released in Wales, and we're looking into that one now. So it's not like there's a list. Parents need to check everything that's being used.
Right, it's almost like the market is just being overwhelmed with a lot of this literature,
Absolutely.
isn't it? And just for those who don't know, could you just kind of give us a brief overview of who Andrew Moffat is, please?
Andrew Moffat is a teacher who's promoting the No Outsiders pack, resources for school, about teaching children about the Equality Act, which in theory is a very good idea. At Safe Schools Alliance, we're all in favour of inclusion and teaching children about the Equality Act, but it's very concerning when the pack that is being used to teach children about the Equality Act doesn't actually get the protected characteristics right. And questions really need to be asked about why that's being used and why it is misrepresenting the law like that.
Some people don't understand what could be the problem about that misrepresentation, for example. Why would it be a problem for it not to include sex but include gender, other than it not actually following the Equalities Act? But why would that be problematic?
Because in schools, generally girls and boys should be treated the same, but on the rare occasions when you do have to separate them, that needs to be done on the basis of their biological sex and not their self-identified gender. Otherwise, we're getting things like mixed sex contact sports, which is dangerous after the children have gone through puberty. There's clear issues with if you're having mixed sex changing or mixed sex overnight accommodation. So it needs to be made very clear to children that their rights, especially the girls' rights, that's on their basis of their sex, not their self-identified gender. And you get into all sorts of problems if this misrepresentation is made.
And just to go back briefly to, you mentioned ASDA. For those who don't know, what was that situation?
The situation there was that they sent out a home learning pack from diversity role models, and we were contacted by a lot of parents very concerned. The primary pack used the slogan, "Love has no age limit," and we were contacted by a lot of parents who had been subjected to sexual abuse during their childhood, who said that was a phrase that their abuser had used, and they found it very traumatic to see that promoted as an inclusive slogan by a supermarket. Obviously, we all want to be inclusive to everybody, but it is important that packs like these are reviewed and signed off by people who understand safeguarding, so that these slogans that could be misrepresented don't get through.
And finally, you've been absolutely brilliant in supporting young pupils who have been, subject to certain lessons that they find not at all to their liking and not what they want. What advice would we give to any young people who find themselves in a situation, because there's a lot of pressure, there'll be a lot of pressure in the classroom that you should be watching this material, you should be taking part in this material. What advice should we give to young people who don't feel comfortable doing that?
Well, we would hope that most children and young people would feel comfortable speaking to their parents. So we would say the first course of action would be for those young people to speak with their parents, who can then raise their concerns with the school. If you feel unable to speak to your parent, then hopefully you do have another trusted adult you can speak to, be that a grandparent, a friend's parents, a teacher you like at the school. Speak to a trusted adult if you have any concerns, and they will know what to do to help you.
Thank you so much, Tanya. I'm going to get that on YouTube ASAP, and hopefully that will help many of the parents who have been contacting me. I just have to say, as a parent, on behalf of other parents, thank you so much to you, Tanya, and all the work that Safe Schools Alliance has been doing, the protection that you are sort of, spreading for our children and helping our children is just absolutely wonderful. And I personally am very grateful to you, and I know other parents will be as well. And thank you so much again for your absolute patience in dealing with this mad audio situation, and have a brilliant day.
You too. Thank you very much for having me on, Sonia. It's appreciated.
Take care.
Have a good day too. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.